All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z.
Am I?
In my view.
Well, thank you. I'll be honest with you.
In my view,
that's a view that is, in terms of importance of views,
to the moon.
Right up there, baby.
To the moon.
We're going to Tampa.
Tampa. I told you, every time I say it, that's how I say it in that voice.
How could you not? I just want people to know that words are hurtful.
Words are hurtful. Of course they are.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but wounds will wound your soul.
Ouch.
Yeah.
We
got a lot going on.
Boy,
there's a lot going on here today. We're going to fly by the seat of our pants a little bit.
By the way, I wore my announcement. Throw up that announcement pic again, Jordan.
You mean the you and me graphic?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what you had on?
That's why
I was so close to wearing that today. I had it ready.
This is why I pulled it.
Yeah, I should have. We should redo.
Yeah,
there it is.
It is.
I'll find that jacket.
You find that jacket,
and we'll do it.
And the thing about this jacket, different material sleeves than the body.
It's a crazy. I think sometimes Nike with their gear for the NFL, they're just like, let's just throw stuff out there.
See what we can do.
See what we can do because, it's an interesting jacket. Honestly, you could sleeve it and make it a vest.
It almost looks like a vest,
and it would work quite well
because that's a different
as a vest. That's a different fabric.
Different browns.
Yeah, right. The browns are slightly different. Yeah. All right, look, there's a lot. Coaches, we're going to have Coach from the podium.
Okay.
So that's going to happen at some point. Shedeur is going to be at the podium today.
Okay.
So we could have that at some. We anticipate having that at some point. We get Gibby one-on-one with Christopher Edmonds. That's today as well. It's a Mailbag Thursday.
Wow.
It's possible that we could get one of the stars of one of the longest-running shows in television. Chris Maloney could be in here too. Now, you and I were talking off air. He's around. We've seen him around.
Yeah, in tremendous condition, I will say.
He looks great. He may pop in here at some point. So, look, there you go. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in terms of.
Could you imagine working with Ice-T for 26 seasons of television?
It's a long run. Have they been always on the same?
I mean, Ice-T's been there a long time. Maybe not since day one, but he's been there a long time. It's him, Ice-T, and Hardegay, right?
I am certainly aware of how powerful that brand is and how big that show has been. I know him. What I've seen him in is Oz.
Yeah, well, yeah, Oz.
Because I have not seen the Law and Orders.
Same.
It's been on for 25 years. It's a massive hit. It's an institution. I just haven't seen it.
Well, I've seen Oz. Right. This is SVU.
Yeah, I've seen Oz a lot.
For sure. Well, I'm a fan of Ice-T and Coco.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that too.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So that's very good. But he was formidable.
Like you remember, like New Jack, right?
Nino Brown.
Come on.
Do I remember New Jack?
Yeah. Look, is Give Me Dance? Is that on camera?
Dude.
Oh man, I wish that was on camera.
Dude, come on.
Well,
what am I hard at New Jack?
Come on.
No, I don't
New
think
Jack
you are.
City.
But I'm saying, New Jack City. Come on.
Come on.
New
boy,
Jack,
what did she
Hustler,
say?
Hustler, Hustler. There isn't that kind of rap anymore either, by the way. Like, Ice-T had a very specific style.
Him and Ice Cube, both, you could hear them.
And you knew immediately.
Yeah, there's a tone to it, an aggression to it that was very unique.
Ice-T's done a great job of going
New
very
Jack
mainstream.
City, I just watched it probably 3 months ago it was on. Holds up.
Okay.
Chris Rock off the wagon as the crackhead is unbelievable. It's pretty crazy. Like, Ice-T... And why am I blanking on old boy from the Breakfast Club is his partner?
Oh, Judd.
Judd.
Come
on.
Hey, come on. Hold on. New Jack City. Hustler.
So good.
Hustler. Hustler. It was Judd Nelson. Yeah, you had Ice-T, Mario Van Peebles.
Mario Van Peebles directed it.
Mario Van Peebles, Snipes, Chris Rock.
It's a great film.
Yeah.
I watched it 1,000 times as a kid. I probably saw it 1,000
Bill Cobbs is the old man. Bill Cobbs is a great character. Keith Sweat made an appearance. How about it?
Yeah, it was nice.
All right, there are three of them.
We have more things coming.
I got more things coming for you today.
Right,
I'm throwing a lot at you.
Real quick, hold on.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
Yep.
New Jack City.
Yep.
Menace to Society holds up. Menace to Society
all of those.
is a fine film.
Yeah. Higher Learning was in that realm too.
Lorenz Tate, I believe.
I got a
Gage.
Gage coming in?
That's right.
Been one of the stars.
Yes, that's right.
Are we going to do it live, Gibby? You want to bring him in here live, or you want me to take a break?
Why don't we go ahead and take a break? I'm going to rotate Zagura out.
Oh, because he's
Gage
got
in.
What?
You got to go
talk to Gage.
Well, you got to talk to Coach.
You got to talk to Coach.
You got to talk to Coach.
Jeez.
It's going to be that type of show,
I'm
kids.
playing musical chairs for the first hour of the show today.
We're loaded up, kids. Don't want to go anywhere. Lots still to come. Cleveland Browns Daily presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Bo, Z, one of the stars of this camp has been Gage Larvadain. He joins us here in studio. Undrafted. What was your mindset walking into camp? I mean, let's go all the way back. What was your mindset as you arrived and then through the summer? And then when you got to camp, what was in your headspace in terms of the impact that you had to make?
Yeah. First of all, appreciate you guys having me.
Great to have you.
And then I think it goes back to, just my childhood, my entire life. That mindset has never changed. I've always been smaller in stature. And so, some small guys, they call it what they call it, little
Napoleon complex.
Yeah. So I might have a little bit of that. So it's just any and everything where I feel like, people think I'm at a disadvantage. I try to, have that chip on my shoulder to just go and prove people wrong, prove myself right.
Undrafted free agency, some people may not realize, is kind of recruitment. We're recruiting you as much as you're choosing where you want to go, right? And you have to decide, okay, I want to be a Cleveland Browns. I don't just get to say, Gage Larvadain, you're going to be a Cleveland Brown. You just have to say, I want to be a Cleveland Brown.
For sure.
What in that process, what made you want to be a Cleveland Brown?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity, and then they have guys in their room. Jerry's here, get to play with Joe Flacco. I mean, it's a great organization to be a part of, and then I'm also I want to be a part of, the turnaround, the solution around here. So I want to be a part of that, and I think this is a great place to grow. Both football player and just as a man.
You lived that last year at South Carolina.
Yeah,
the way they finished that season.
Sure.
That was a rough part of that season. Then you guys got going and got really to the cusp of the playoffs. So you're certainly a part of that. The other thing that I would assume to be a big part of that is opportunity, right? You look at a room and you go, hey, I can find some ways to move up, but it's still an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And the one thing about it is you don't get that many opportunities, so you have to take advantage of the ones that you have. How have you done that this summer?
Yeah, I just try to walk around the building and be a sponge. Just listen to as many people, as many teammates, coaches as I can, and then just go out there and apply it. Just try to stay as consistent and just focus on my job. Sometimes you can get kind of crowded and bombarded with a lot of stuff going on, but I just try to focus on my job and then being 1/11th of our offense. And if everyone focuses on that, I think everybody's going the same direction. I think the sky's the limit.
Well, one thing I know that you do very well from talking to Chad O'Shea, your coach, is he can tell you to line up anywhere, and every responsibility. And that when they can trust you to say, all right, you're going to line up here on this play, you're going to line up over here on the next one, and your job, that's how you get more opportunities. I want to ask about those opportunities because preseason games, and we'll talk about those in a second, but you started to get some opportunities with the ones in Philly against the defending Super Bowl champs. So that's a big deal. What was that like for you? Did you know going into it that was going to be the case? You were going to get some more of those opportunities, and how do you think you handled yourself in those opportunities?
Yeah, I mean it's always fun. It's another challenge that you try to put your focus on, try to accomplish another goal. But I didn't know, and I mean whoever's lined up next to me, whether it's Jerry, whether it's Keyshawn Johnson, K. McDonald, I just try to, like I said, I try to focus on, being the best version of myself. So whoever's back there throwing the ball, they have enough, trust to throw it to me, and then, let me take care of the rest.
All right, I want to ask about two plays specifically. Let's go back to the first time we did live tackling, and you take a pass to the house, weaving through traffic. How gratifying was that? And then I'm sure when you watch the film, what you notice, not only what you did, but when you have Jerry Jeudy and Joel Bitonio sprinting down to the end zone, that says more than the play.
Yeah, the play was fun. Because I pride myself on run after catch. It's something I think I could bring value to this team for sure. So I was waiting. I was itching for a live period just to kind of, get another opportunity to showcase, what I can bring to the table. But, I mean, the play was cool, but like you said, that was my favorite part of camp. If I had to highlight one specific part, I mean, it's Jerry Jeudy, the Pro Bowler, and he's running down telling me, I'm getting him juiced up, So I'm like, how am I getting you juiced up? You get me juiced up all the time. So that was cool to see Joel, the vet, and then David was down there. So that was my favorite part of camp for sure.
All right, and then I imagine one of your favorite parts of preseason, if not the favorite, you get in the huddle, it's going to be the jet sweep.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? Were you like, did you feel good about it? But when the play was called, you're like, I'm going to get in there, and then you get in for the touchdown.
It was kind of one of I think Tommy was showing me some love right there. He could have anyone could have scored that touchdown. So I think whoever, Tommy and Coach Stefanski for calling that play. And then my teammates were blocking it up. I walked in. All three of us could have walked in on that.
No, I don't know about that.
It was fun.
One of the three.
Yes,
one of the three.
Yeah, for sure.
But that also speaks to what they think of you, not just as a player, but you as the person. And those relationships are such a part of this. As he used the word trust, you have to, when you think about this position, playing it at this level, you have to have the complete trust of your positions coach, of your coordinators, your head coach, your quarterbacks. You have to build that in short order. How have you been so good at building that with this team?
I think my preparation, we hear a lot for sure, but I don't think, what we do inside this building will be enough for me in order to, going undrafted is going to be hard, you know what I'm saying? So like you mentioned, playing every spot, that's something I have to be able to do. And so I think my preparation has, gave me the ability to go out there and, the more when you know it, you can play faster, and the faster you play, the better you can play. So I just pride myself on that.
Well, Joe Flacco sat in this very chair,
Yep.
and it was early on, and we're like, who do you like? And he's like, 84. We're like, Gage? He's like, Gage.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
He knows your,
like
he knows
week
your
one.
name.
Yeah,
That was like
too.
week one.
Early.
Early, no, he saw it very, very early. All right, you mentioned after the catch. I have not seen the first guy take you down, regardless if it's a punt return, if it's a play. I have not seen that. And there was one in Philadelphia where I'm pretty sure it was a punt return. You're going to the right. The guy's got the angle on you, and somehow he just doesn't even tackle you. And I'm like, I think I said on the broadcast, I'm like, did Gage just turn invisible for a second? Because it doesn't make any sense, but you're able to just kind of get that. Is that something always? To me, the way that I have tried to, at least in the commentary side of it, try to say it is you just must have incredible start, stop, short area quickness because you have people there, and then you're not there anymore.
Yeah, so I actually have on the first page of my notebook, it says first guy never takes me down.
Well,
so
success.
Yeah,
So it's good.
I think it's more of a mindset. Some people say it's a skill. I think it's more of a mindset, and I know that's something I can add value of, and I just try to keep doing it, keep putting it on film.
And you've done a great job of that. And I'm sure when you come in as an undrafted free agent, right, obviously the ultimate goal is to make team. But first goal is like, let me show them enough that I stay in the program, right?
For sure.
You can get to the practice squad, then there's always the opportunities. You put them in a real hard position because you've put enough good stuff out there on tape that it's not just known here, right? It's known around the league. What would it mean to you to make this football team?
Yeah, man. Words can't explain it. It means the world. Like I said, I've been playing football my whole life, so just to be able to put any NFL. Honestly, I swear, I hope it's the Browns, but just any NFL uniform would mean the world to me and my family. It's been an uphill battle my entire life, like I mentioned earlier. So, God's blessed me with the talents, the ability to be able to play this game, and I want to, use this game to, showcase and be a vessel of His word, and hopefully, impact people who are watching this or watching anything that I'm involved with. So.
Your path, man, you want to talk about, you said been up against it. This incredible two-sport athlete in high school. Then you go to southeastern Louisiana, then for 2 years, and you go to Miami for a year, then last year at South Carolina. How, in your head, motivationally, all of those things, was it always in your head, I'm making the league? Like, was that something, how did that drive you through that path?
Yeah, I think every kid who grows up playing football, their ultimate goal, their dream is to, play at the highest level in the National Football League. And, my journey's my journey. I wouldn't change it for the world. In my opinion, I feel like I should have been at South Carolina or, in that level of competition for all 4 years, but that wasn't my journey, and I wouldn't trade mine for the world. I was blessed with coaches at Southeast Louisiana that let me, get an education at their school, play 2 years there, play a year of college basketball as well there. Then Coach Chuck Martin in Oxford, he gave me the opportunity to come join his squad.
My wife is a graduate of Miami,
Okay,
Ohio.
love and honor,
Yeah,
for sure, love and honor, yeah. Great coach, great university, great program. We were able to get it done. Was able to turn them around from, fighting for a bowl game to winning the MAC championship. So that's what I love, being a part of groups like that who, we turn stuff around, we get it done when people think we can't. And so, because I carry that same mindset.
The common denominator, you get there, things get better.
That's
So
what
far,
I try to do.
Miami have in South
That's
Carolina.
what I try to think.
Yeah.
Man, you ever get close to that rooster at South Carolina? That
No,
Big Spur guy?
I'm not doing that.
I'm not messing with that
He's
guy.
actually super trained though. He barely moves. Sometimes you have to poke him to make sure he's
Really?
alive. Yeah, he
Oh.
he barely moves.
No.
They got him,
That's a ferocious bird.
Yeah,
no,
no
that
doubt.
thing's terrifying.
Claws
Right on
are
it.
crazy.
You snuck in very quickly there that you also played a year of college hoops.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what was your game like?
I was kind of a scorer.
That's yes.
Yeah, I had to get it done. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things. I was able to play at Southeast Louisiana, and I told myself probably the hardest thing I ever had to do was give up basketball. Because I told myself, okay, like I'll do a year, maybe two of both, and then eventually I can't go to NBA and NFL, so eventually I have to give one up. So I told myself I'll let the sports decide for themselves, and so I had a pretty good freshman year of college football. And then I went to basketball kind of late, so it wasn't kind of a fair fight between the two.
Yeah.
But football kind of took over.
All right, who was your basketball idol growing up that you
Yeah.
emulated, and who was your football idol that you grew up emulating?
Basketball, I'm big AI.
Yes.
Even though I didn't really get to watch him play live.
The answer.
Yeah, I watched because he was a football basketball guy too. People don't really know that. And there's clips of him dribbling a football, but he's dribbling like a basketball. He has all control of it, and I just think that's so cool.
So I know you probably haven't gotten to spend a ton of time with Jeremiah Usu-Koromoa, but JOK and AI were tight and similar. He's a JOK fancies himself as a great basketball player.
Virginia
as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Virginia,
exactly.
Virginia area.
Yeah, no doubt.
Norfolk.
Yeah.
Just
And who was the football one?
Football, I was a big Odell guy, and it was just ironic because he was here. Love his game. I love Louisiana guy as well, so I kind of grew up watching him for sure. So
we had
I would say
Odell and Jarvis.
Yeah, and Jarvis. for
Right
sure.
here in this
Yep.
very studio
Yep.
where you now
No
sit
doubt.
many times.
Yeah, for sure.
We'd have a heck of a basketball team if JOK. I mean, like, because Dewan can play.
Yeah, Dewan. Yep.
Did you get shots up at the Palestra?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
You know
I
who
played-
the number one bucket was?
Who's that?
I've heard. Now, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny's got it. He
Pickett's
can,
a bucket
yeah,
too?
he can shoot it too.
He's
You
an
know,
athlete,
we have
dude.
the
Kenny
basketball
Pickett's an
goal
athlete.
right outside the weight room, and Kenny's.
He's
he
an
gets-
athlete.
Yeah, he gets some shots up too.
Oh,
He's
wow,
nice.
that's a squad then.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a squad.
You, Kenny, Dewan, JOK. Who's the fifth? Who would be the
JOK.
fifth?
Joel.
Oh, God, yeah, Joel.
Yeah,
Joel was a
yeah.
beast.
Oh, that's
You'd have
right.
Joel and Dewan. You'd have JOK would be like the Iguodala, like
Yep.
lockdown
Yep.
defender.
And you and Kenny in the backcourt.
Yeah.
You run the
Sure.
one.
Yeah, for sure.
You run the one.
Be a
Kenny runs
scoring
the two.
point guard. Yeah, exactly.
I like
Yeah,
it.
like Kenny get all the shots up.
Hey, buddy. It was awesome having you in here. It has been so much fun watching you. It's been inspirational watching you and the way you've handled your business. And hopefully the next week is good. Hopefully it's here. But you've made it a very difficult decision, as Z said. And the play that you've put on the field is awesome to watch. And you're a
Appreciate
pleasure
that.
to get to know you, buddy. So
Appreciate
thank you
it.
so much for stopping
Yeah,
by.
appreciate you having me. Yeah, no doubt.
There you go. He's been one of these stories of Camp Gage Larvadain in studio with us here on Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports winning partner of your Cleveland Browns. There's so much going on here off the top. Let's just we got Andrew Siciliano going to join us here in just a second before we welcome in the radio voice of your Cleveland Browns. Couple of things. Injury updates from Coach Denzel Ward day-to-day with the right shoulder. Kenny Pickett will not play against the Rams, said Tillman dealing with a thumb injury and did not practice today. Shedeur Sanders did return to practice today in a limited capacity. In addition to that, the Browns and Jets work to trade defensive tackle Juwan Briggs and a 7th-round pick from Buffalo to the Jets. And Briggs was a 7th-round pick of the Browns in 2024, appeared in 6 games. We get a 6th-round pick in 2026 in exchange for that. We signed Chase Cota, Marvin Moody, Charles Thomas III, placed Nathaniel Watson on IR, waived Toa Tua, and I think that's all of it. Here in the last couple of minutes, Coach, with this 25 to 30 plays for the ones on Saturday. Joe Flacco will start. He will then give way to Dylan Gabriel, who will then give way to Shedeur Sanders. And with that, we bring on the radio voice of the Cleveland Browns, the great Andrew Siciliano, joining us. Where are you, man?
I'm at lunch, but I stepped out because
Erewhon?
The great Gibbe said, "Hey, go get lunch." No. My folks are in town, so we're in Westlake. We're in Westlake. If anyone is actually interested in just having some lunch, and beautiful day. So beautiful day. Sun is shining. So figured to go sit outside and have some lunch.
Well, that's beautiful, buddy. I'm glad you're enjoying the sun. We could use some here, rainy and wet here.
I'm kidding. There is no sun. We're eating lunch. It's fine. Yes, we're good.
Let me your thoughts on Kevin's plan for this weekend. The starter's going 25 to 30. We know the Rams are not going to do that at all. But 25 to 30 plays for the ones this Saturday.
Yeah, it's the dress rehearsal. I am for half of that number. If it's 10 plays in one drive and they march down the field, I would say get them out of there, but I'm not in charge. That's just me. But I do think it is going with the tone of this entire camp, and up to this point, it has worked fantastically well. I think, people want to thumb their nose at preseason results and say the 2-0, who cares? I think it does matter because it's how this team has played. This has been a tougher, physical, Kevin always likes to say calloused football team this summer, and I think that is a good thing. And I think it's a good thing to end strong with that same focus and that same MO in the final game. So yeah, I'm here for it. And let's get Joe Flacco out on the highway and see what he could do. Why not? Let's see him sling the ball around a little bit and get him ready for week number 1. You're right with the Rams. They are getting in late Friday evening. From what I understand, they're coming in hot. They're not even going to be in town for 24 hours. Matthew Stafford ain't going to play. Jimmy Garoppolo ain't going to play. I'd be stunned Stetson Bennett if he steps on the field. Get ready for dresser win from Tennessee, Martin Bowe.
Oh, baby. Yep. You used to do those games, obviously, and know that organization very well. And you and I have talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but this incredible vast gap between how teams are treating the preseason. And obviously they won a Super Bowl, so it's hard to question it. But what is the methodology with Sean to approach the training camp and preseason the way he does it?
So he really switched, 5-6 years ago. When he first got to L.A., he played his guys in the preseason, especially his first year. You're putting in a new system. You want to do things your way. And also, he's learning on the job. He was a 30-year-old head coach. And then after a year or two, he decided, I'm just not going to play anybody. And then the last couple of years, it's gotten to the point where he doesn't even play first or second day draft picks in the preseason. 3 years ago, Puka Nacua played in the preseason 1 game, and that was it. Seen enough, shut him down. Kevin kind of did the same thing, We saw Harold Fannin and Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger in Carolina, and then those guys didn't get anywhere near the practice field in Philadelphia. But a big reason was because they had the joint practice, 2 days of joint practice with the Eagles. And I think that's where the league is going. You could get better work in a controlled environment in a joint practice. And when we get to 18 games, when the season inevitably expands with the new CBA, I would not be stunned if we're a 1 preseason game model and that all these coaches seek the good work they want in camp in the joint practices. And even to the point where joint practices are shown more on TV. I know at NFL Network over the years, we tried to, the last couple of years, televise as many joint practices as we could, because that's when you get real ones-on-ones. But a lot of teams would say, hey, bring your cameras, but you could shoot individual drills or you could shoot ISOs, but we don't want you showing full field where you can see all 22 because we're going ones on ones here. We could actually put stuff in we want to use week one. Don't show that.
Yeah, to me, I ran this by Z, like in preseason, I wouldn't even mind if like for the first quarter, everybody treat them like joint practices. Have it be thud on tackles, have quarterbacks be tapped.
Sure.
I mean, all of that, like find a way.
You guys talk about that.
Yeah, find a way. Take advantage of it. We just had Gage in studio with us here. Really cool kid, and you root for him. His path is so unique. He's made it very difficult for them. The announcement of Joe Flacco as the starter, which was not surprising based on the way training camp went and Kenny Pickett's unavailability. I mean, it's just that simple. He wasn't available, and so he really didn't get a chance to hold on to a job that he was the front runner for when this thing all started. So it will be Joe. We all kind of feel like 4 quarterbacks, but Kenny could potentially be the one wild card in that. How do you begin to, if you're Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, get this numbers game to work? And Gage is a guy who, I mean, he's done everything, and he's shown so much, Andrew, that's I don't know if he would get through waivers and get to practice squad. Probably not, with all these teams around the league looking for wide receivers. So there's going to be a number crunch on this roster. How do you anticipate them handling that?
It's a great question. If Kenny's hamstring doesn't get better, they have the easy way out, and they could put him on IR for 4 games. Now, what's different this year, and I think fans I hope fans know this, is that this year they tweaked the rule where you don't have to get the player to the 53 before putting him on IR. There are 2 spots that you can do at cutdown day to designate for return from IR without putting the guy on the 53 right out of the gate. So they have a little bit of leeway there if Kenny's hamstring doesn't respond. I also think, and I'm with you on Larvadain, he needs to be kept around in some capacity. There's a really interesting conversation with GMs around the league that go often hear, this concept of can we get this guy through waivers? Mm-hmm. And a lot of teams have it inflated. Look, you see guys like Gage in the preseason, you're like, oh my God, I want to keep him. We can't get him through waivers. Remember, if another team claims any player that you get rid of on cutdown day, they have to put them onto their 53. So it's not like, hey, I love this player the Browns cut, I'm taking him. Well, to do that, he has to be on your active roster. So not as many players get claimed as teams truly fear. But Gage Larvadain is one of those guys that's shown a lot of promise, and he makes the first guy miss every time. I would love to keep him around, but right now, let's see, we have Judy, we have Tillman, we have
Bond. And Thrash.
Those 3 guys are locks, and I would have to think Jamari Thrash is a lock as well. So
Carter
how many
too,
do you
right?
keep? It's easier. Carter's, I think, is a lock as
Me
well.
too.
He hasn't been on the field in the preseason. I think he's your primary returner.
Mm-hmm.
So you have those 5. Is there room for a 6th? Everything is easier if you have only 3 quarterbacks. Heck, it's easier if you have only 2, but it's not going to be that case. It's 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get there pretty quickly because if you have 6 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, 10 offensive linemen, I mean, you're at 19 there. You got 3 quarterbacks,
right.
That's 22. 3 backs is 25. And that's honestly probably has to be 9 offensive linemen at that point. To me, this has to be a 24 offense, 26 defense split, no?
I think so. And then you look at, the Buki Watson thing is horrible. I feel for that kid. He had a really good preseason. He made some plays. Chasing running backs down the line in the backfield last week in Philadelphia. He was a guy coming into his own. That's a gut punch for a position you were already with Hicks and with JOK not here. JOK obviously in the building. It was good to see him yesterday, but like that is not a position of strength nor depth. So the Buki Watson thing is a last second curveball.
Yeah, it certainly was. So that is. There's a lot of balls in the air right now. As someone such as yourself, who's been around the NFL for as long as you have and been at the league for a long time as well, how do you separate the fact and the fiction from this time of year, because we have several instances where we have hold-ins. We know that the media is used by agents and teams to get a certain message out one way or another. We see this all the time. My stance on it, buddy, is until I see somebody miss the opener, it's not a thing. But there's a lot going on. This, you think about just the edge rusher thing with Hendrickson, and obviously down in Dallas as well with Micah, and there's so many more of them.
Micah,
how do you tell what's real, what's not on all that front with all your experience?
I mean, they're case by case basis. Obviously, I think the one in Cincinnati is the real one. I think Trey Hendrickson would be willing to pull a Carson Palmer and just go home. Now, I've also had people push back on that by saying, "Oh, he hasn't made that much money career-wise." Well, he's made $62.5 million. I mean, I think that's enough to hold out for a couple of weeks if he truly does want to. But when you go to actually missing game checks, that's an entirely different conversation. I do think Trey Hendrickson would be that guy. The Micah thing's a little bit different because they still hold the franchise tags over his head, not just one but two. Now, no one ever uses the second one. But they could very, very easily do that. And there are people that, honestly, Bo, I've talked to people that think the entire thing's a giant conspiracy in Dallas, that Jerry just wants it for the clicks and the headlines. No, I'm dead serious, that they already have the deal worked out. It's going to be 45, and Micah's going to sign it next week. Seriously, there are people that believe that.
All right, I got to jump in just for a second. I'm not laughing because of your farcical. I'm laughing because of course it's a circus. If you watch the documentary, the Netflix one, by the way, I've watched 6 episodes. That's how good it is. He flat out says this is a soap opera 24/7, 365. He's done this playbook 1,000 times.
And I was there. I told you we've discussed this for the premiere where he was on stage for a little roundtable after the screening where he said the exact same thing with Emmitt Smith on stage there. Right? Emmitt was the one who did hold out years ago, clearly. And Emmitt was just laughing at the whole thing, trying to say mine wasn't staged, right?
Yeah.
It was real. But Jerry is willing to do this. How about the fact that last year, what was it, 8 a.m. on the day of week 1 with everyone here for the opener, and Brady and Burkhardt and Aaron and the whole crew, they hit send on that press release and steal the spotlight from everybody. This Micah one's a lot more contentious. It's legitimately contentious. I was trying to explain it to my old man this morning. Jerry claims he has a verbal deal, right? But he hasn't called the agent as of last week. He's like, well, no, we've already done the deal. Well, eventually you have to call the agent. You have to call the attorney to paper the deal. That's how you do this, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we're doing the deals. Well, I've done deals on napkins before. Great. They're not legally binding.
Yeah.
Great. That's not how this whole thing works. There's a union. There's a collective bargaining agreement. You eventually have to put the thing in writing and submit it to the league. And to do that, you have to call the agent. So do it. Now, I thought that Miles did 40, TJ did 41, that you do 41.5 or 42 for Micah, and we call it a day. There are people that firmly believe the number is 45 for Micah, and I think that's where the disconnect is right now. If it's 45 for Micah and Jerry wants to do it 41.5, then that's a pretty big gap. He's also much younger. But there are people in that building, in Dallas that is, who Micah's not the easiest guy to deal with, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He's not. But if you were going to trade him, you should have done it in March or April before the draft. You trade him now, you're not a playoff team. You may not be one regardless, but you're not a playoff team. And if, say, the Bears go trade for him now, which Bears fans want, I think it's ridiculous, you have to pay him. So anyone that trades for him has to give up the picks and write the check and give him $80 million on direct deposit tomorrow. That's just not going to happen.
I got to give you credit. Did you happen to hear us yesterday with Bernie, by the way?
I did not. I missed that. Sorry.
So no apology necessary. But he was in studio here, and Nathan and I were talking. We had both watched the first 2 episodes of the Cowboys doc, and Bernie's sitting here, and we're going, my God, he has connective tissue with all of this. So he came in studio with us, and we did 20 minutes of just story time with Bernie on all of it, and it was exceptional. And I watched 4 more episodes last night, dude. It's just riveting. It's just completely riveting. And it's such I got to give Jerry a lot of credit, Bud, because it's warts and all. I mean, he's not always painted in the best light, and he participated in all of it.
Listen, I've always had a good relationship with Jerry. He's a force of nature. Like, he's always been very good to me. But I don't agree with any and everything he's ever done. I do think that episode 3, the NFC Championship one with the Niners, where they show his thesis from Arkansas, they dug that up out of the archives, talking about team marketing. That to me was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend watching it. But if this is all for show, this is not a show that I think is benefiting his team right now. But Brian Schottenheimer said yesterday that he is confident that Micah is going to play week 1. Here's the other thing, too. They're not playing on Sunday.
No.
They're playing 2 weeks from today.
Tons of time.
Like, they get on a plane in 13 days to fly to Philly. So this is a tight timeline.
All right, buddy, I'll get you out of here on this one, get you back to your folks. What do you want to see Saturday?
I want to see health. That's all I care about. Like, I know the answer should be Joe Flacco marching down the field and efficiency. I want to see that as well.
Yeah.
By far. Look, I absolutely want to see touchdowns, and I want to see the Browns win the game. They go 3-0 in the preseason. I want to have the fans have a great time. All of those things. Good weather, better than this. But all I truly care about in this one is health. Winning and health. 2 things.
What's on the menu for lunch?
Also, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Gabriel and Shedeur play well. I want the 2 rookie quarterbacks to play well because, as Nathan has said, and you guys have said 100 times, it is great news that both of them have played well. It's not Team A and Team B. It is both of them playing well, and that only helps the organization.
Yeah, they're both Cleveland Browns. What's on the menu?
Yeah, exactly. You got a salad, nothing big, light. Big dinner plan, so light lunch. Nothing special.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Thanks for your time, pal.
All right. Yes, sir. See you.
There he goes. He's the radio voice of your Cleveland Browns, Andrew Siciliano, who joins on the Twisted Tea Hotline, brought to you by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. In addition to that, those are your hot topics of the day, presented by University Hospitals, for our healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Z is going to rejoin here momentarily. There's a lot to unpack here, as I mentioned in that start of the segment with Andrew, in terms of all of these logistical things. We'll get Z's take on all of that coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Think you know the ultimate Browns fan? Nominate a super fan in your life now for their chance to win 2 tickets and an exclusive trip to Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. Visit Browns.com/fan of the year to nominate it today. Since you were away, my friend, you were interviewing Coach for the Coach's Show, which will air tonight. We had a lot going on. We did find out from Coach 25 to 30 plays for the ones to expect that on Saturday. We know that the Rams, per our good buddy Andrew Siciliano, they're not going to show up until late Friday night, and they're not even going to be here 24 hours. You won't even see Stetson Bennett. I mean, they're going to go 4-string.
So that's good. This
no
should be
ones and twos. I mean, this is.
It should be
play Ignatius.
Should be
what are we doing?
confidence. Should be confidence building. Then is what I would say. You should go out there and you should look clean and you
Get
should
Eddie
be
George and his Bowling Green boys over here to give you a little look on a Saturday. What the heck
Yeah.
make the Rams fly all the way out here?
Yeah,
Did you
fine.
see, by the way, what they did at BG? Did you see this, Gibby? I know you're excited. Please tell me you saw it.
Next week?
No. Did you see the
video?
billboard? Bowling Green football put a billboard of Eddie George on Toledo's campus.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
That's
this.
pretty
and
great.
This is, well,
I thought you'd like it.
next week is a big night. It's opening night there against
Okay.
Louisiana Lafayette, and they are putting one Urban Meyer into the Ring of Honor.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Herb's coming in.
Oh, because he's got Big Noon in Columbus
Exactly.
on Saturday.
big
so you're
week
playing
next
Friday night?
No, it's Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, okay. Early in the week, and then
Yeah.
you do that, and then he goes down. That's awesome.
Yeah,
He
if I
he's
can
still
finagle it. I'm going up there.
he's still one of his best buddies. Is a big BG booster who's still one of his best buddies. Goes up to Erie Islands with him all the time, Put in Bay of that area, all that. That's really cool. That's very cool. All right, so you get 25 to 30 for the ones. The order will go Joe, Dylan, Shedeur, Saturday, according to Coach.
Yep. Good. Get to see the young guys, which is, I think, very important. This is going to be their last game action for the foreseeable future. You know, obviously, they have an opportunity to get in there due to injury or as things unfold, but I think it'll be very good to get to see them. We haven't seen them in the same game yet, and so that'll be fun to see if they can continue their development and continue to put, good stuff out there on tape.
What do you do with Kenny?
This is going to be one of those, what was this season going to look like? And I think the answer to that is something that we will never know, right? What would this season have looked like had Kenny Pickett gotten an opportunity to actually compete? And he did not due to injury. And it's one of those things that I think it kind of finds himself a little bit in a no man's land. I think that those rookies have shown enough, not just in the preseason games, but in everything else that they've done here in Berea and in Carolina and in Philadelphia, that you'd feel okay with them as the number 2 quarterback, either Dylan or Shedeur. And so I think that puts Kenny Pickett in a little bit of a tough spot. And, I think ideally for him and for the Browns, you would hope that there is somebody out there that would want him.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore was with him in Philadelphia last year. They have a quarterback crisis right now in New Orleans. Kenny Pickett could probably come in and pretty quickly be by far their best option there. So,
oh, my God, not close.
I think it just leaves him in, unfortunately, just a little bit of a tough spot, right, in terms of the opportunities that he is going to get here, because he's not under contract next year, and Dylan and Shedeur are.
Yeah.
For 3 more. And I think part of this season is to get an idea of exactly, what you've got in those guys.
Yeah, and I think, watching last week in Philly, Dylan, to me, clearly looked very capable to run the full complement of the Cleveland Browns offense.
Uh-huh.
I mean, all the option stuff, all the rollouts, all the reads, all of it. Like, he had it all down. Made a rookie mistake on the interception. Receiver shouldn't have been in that spot, but he should have ate it. But other than that, he ran the full complement. And so if that's the case, because I was having this conversation with Andrew, we had Gage in here in the first hour. It's been a loaded first hour.
Yeah.
And the reality is that the numbers game gets dicey quick if you're going to keep all 4 quarterbacks. It gets there. You start to get squeezed.
Yep.
And you can feel it.
You can feel it, and it's just a hard thing to look at. As I look at the roster here right now in front of us, it becomes a very difficult thing to look at, because 4 quarterbacks just really make the numbers hard. all of a sudden you're at 3 quarterbacks. You could be at 3 running backs, 5, maybe 6 receivers. I think you could get to 6 receivers now. And that allows for example, our guest earlier to make this football team, right? Because you've got 5 that are automatics, but that gives you an opportunity to go with potentially 6. In Gage Larvadain or Deontay Johnson, my guess is at that point, if we're talking about the 6th receiver, you're going to take a younger guy. It allows you to, keep another lineman on the side. So if let's say you went 3-3-6, that's 12, 3-15, you could have 9 offensive linemen. You could even have 10 if you go 25-25. There are parts of, I think we're starting to see injuries rear their ugly head in our linebacker room, so that might be a room where we keep 5 but have like 3 guys on the practice squad. And we brought back Charlie Thomas, who they are very happy to get back today, but that allows you can maybe get to 25-25 in that regard and in a healthy way. I think that's the hard part with the 4 quarterbacks. That eats up such a big chunk of what you're trying to do. So that'll be tough decisions. I do think right now, I'm going to go through and just real quickly tell you who I think, how many of the 53 I think are totally spoken for. I'll say 3, 6, 11, 13, 22. I think 22 are spoken for sure on offense. The other ones, it's exactly where you are. Defensively, I think you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 14, 18, 22. I think 22 again.
That's 44 of 50. So that's 6 spots.
Yeah. So to me, those 6 spots come from, do you keep 5 safeties? Do you keep, and the corners were light for me because I really don't know beyond how many, I could say there's 5 there. Could you go 5 and 5? How many linebackers do you keep? I think we're keeping 10 on the D-line. The trade of Juwan Briggs, I think, makes it the 5 in defensive tackle room pretty apparent. I think that would be good news for Aiden Huntington for what he's done and what he's shown, which would be great for him. There aren't a lot of spots open, but there are. It's just how are you going to move it? Do we think we could get away with keeping on the initial 53 2 tight ends, and are we okay if we are able to retain on the practice squad 2 of Whitehart, Bates, and Cannella? Or do we have to make sure we want to keep Blake Whitehart so we go 3 tight ends? Those are more the spots that are open in terms of, is it a 10th lineman? Is it a 3rd tight end? Is it a 6th receiver? Is it a 4th running back? Is it a 5th, 6th linebacker? Is it a 6th corner? That's more what's open than anything else.
That speaks to that comment we talk about all the time, which is a lot of times these guys are thinking can I get this person through waivers?
Yes.
Can we get him back? And I think that's the thing with Gage that's tricky is he's shown out, and you definitely want him in the mix, and you don't want and with all of the need at receiver in the league right now, it'd be tough to watch him go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's the tricky spot. What do you make of the linebacker situation as it sits right now?
So we've got some guys that are banged up, obviously. I mean, the linebacker room that you thought you had last year and coming into this year, certainly you don't with JOK and Hicks. And, now Buki Watson is on IR. Mahmoud's been banged up for a few weeks. When you look at, some other guys banged up, you're thin. Now, the 3 guys you have that are healthy are your top 3, and I think Mahmoud will be back. So your top 4 would be good, which is good. Listen, week 1 against the Bengals, you're going to play 2 linebackers.
Yeah.
What we really need, though, are linebackers that can play in this game.
Yeah.
That's why we signed 2 of them here today. I think that you're going to play a lot of nickel in that first game. Now, you're going to need your linebackers in a big way for the Baltimore Ravens. And so that's a room that's got to get healthy. And, I mean, it can ill afford anything to happen to Carson right now.
No.
Or Devin or Jerome, quite frankly.
What, if anything, did you make of the Diana Rossini report that we are one of the teams making calls at running back?
I read that pretty, to my mind, cleanly, which means that a resolution on Quinshon Judkins is not expected to be anytime soon, and that while they've liked Amani Marshall, that's maybe not the power back that they want to go into this season with. So to me, we're looking for a north-south veteran that would get cut somewhere that we can bring in.
Yeah. You think we'd dip our toe in the Brian Robinson water?
That might be a bigger price tag than we want to pay because, long term, we're still looking at Quinshon Judkins.
Right.
It's just, that contract issue, the NFL's investigation has created a murkier situation than I think anybody would like, and it sounds like both sides are fairly resolute in what they believe. And by the way, I would love to be wrong about that in 5 seconds, and we say, hey, breaking news, Quinshon Judkins is signed. That would be great.
Hey, Browns fans, enter the Dog Dash Sweepstakes presented by Milkbone for a chance to have your pup compete in the annual dog races during halftime of the Browns-Dolphins game. It's October 19th. Grand prize includes 2 season tickets for the 26th season and Milkbone for a year. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/milkbone to enter. Second hour of the program. My goodness, has this been a lot going on here, Gibby?
We're not done.
And more to come on a Thursday edition, Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Oh, that's great. Little Law and Order playing us back in. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today. Get 50 back in bonus bets you place that first wager. A 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. You know, every once in a while in this job, somebody really cool is walking the halls. Other than the guys that we already see. And we're like, wait a second, is that? And sure enough, it is. Christopher Maloney in studio with us. Of course, you've been a fixture on television in this country for a quarter century, my friend. Law and Order, of course, all in the middle of it with SVU and then Organized Crime, which is on now. What brings you here?
The Cleveland Browns, baby, and you too.
Well,
and
thank you.
Come to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have a project coming up, and one of the stars of that project will be the Cleveland Browns.
Wow, it's exciting stuff. And so when you we don't want to give, you can share whatever you will, obviously, but in terms of when you throw yourself into a role, this type of firsthand experience that you've got here, what has it been like, and have you enjoyed the week?
Yeah, it's been pretty profound. So yeah, I'm in the midst of a little bit of research just to kind of get the texture and the environment and relationships and how the sausage is made. You get behind the scenes, and the Cleveland Browns were kind enough to open up their home to me. And it's, part of it is taking in information through a fire hose.
Yeah.
Just
That's how the rookies feel.
I'm telling you, that's how I feel. They're putting the plays on the board, and you're just going, you just know you're 3 steps behind everything, and then they put in the options. If they're running this defense, and this is how these routes change, or the blocking scheme changes. It's just intense and immense, and all the guys were cool. The environment was, that sense of camaraderie of, these guys are fighting for their jobs, their lives, to be a team, and yet they're rooting for each other, and yet they're competing. I mean, it's just really a very unique environment, and I appreciate it every moment.
Getting to kind of have that access and insight, one of the things that we try to convey to people is the amount of time, energy, dedication that goes into everything to get a game on Sunday to play at the highest of levels. And I'm talking from the coaching, all of it, but how many decisions you were just talking about. If this guy motions in here, how many things change and need to be accounted for in the blink of an eye, and then the ball's spotted, and the greatest athletes in the world are running at you. And if you're on defense, you need to make sure I made the right checks, or else it's toast. It's so much more than, it's not we're just lining up and they're going to do this and we're going to do this. It's
right. Hit the guy with the ball. Well, that's the ultimate.
That's the ultimate essence.
That's the end. That's the end result. But if that one step, if your footwork is wrong, and if you don't hit that reach block, I mean, all of these little things, and you get that. I guess everyone does. But I was fortunate enough to be part of seeing game films, and they run it back 5 times, and you go, oh my gosh. It's all because that right foot didn't go first. You did a little stutter step, and you just missed it, and so whatever. The margin of error is always whether it's the back getting through the hole or not. I just found it really fascinating because it's a culmination of years and years and years of it all boiling down. And getting boiled down by Paul Brown. You look at his tree, his genetic tree of coaches.
Sure.
I mean, it's just insane. I was looking at it today, just going, man, this is the land.
Some good history here. Yeah, absolutely. The
your relationship with the sport. A lot of times you take a role, whatever, and maybe you don't. What is your relationship with football?
So I played in high school. It
looked like you could get out there right now.
I think you could
quite
play.
frankly,
You
you're ready to go
good.
right now. Yeah.
Well, QB coach Bill Musgrave, he was looking at. I said, "Would you look at me throwing the ball?" Yeah. And he just gave me. He goes, "If I may give you a pointer."
Yes.
He was very kind
Yes,
to
you
me.
may.
I'm like a little puffy right now. Going, still got it.
Yeah.
Still got it. A little deeper. Little more. No, 20 yards is too much. Come here.
Come on.
here.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's my long bomb now.
Yeah.
So I played in high school, in Little League and all that stuff. And, I was cornerback my sophomore, junior year, and I played because I had to wait my turns and second string quarterback, and became quarterback my senior year. And this is my myth. This is the story. This is the Maloney that it changed my life. I went from, I tried to be a good student, but whatever, I was okay. But my behavior patterns weren't that great. The actor was always
It's a great way to say it.
Right?
The patterns were not that
I was
great.
sitting on an actor.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
the problem.
Yeah, you're an entertainer.
That's right. The teachers just didn't
They
understand.
didn't get it.
It's
They
on
didn't
them.
get it. Yeah.
So, my senior year, I'm quarterback, and all I wanted three things: undefeated season. I knew I was going to be quarterback. Undefeated season. Actually, it was just undefeated season, and I wanted to be captain.
Mm-hmm.
Became captain. I knew I was going to be quarterback, and we went undefeated. First time in 22 years.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I think they've maybe had one since then, and this was 1,000 years ago. And it changed, and this is my myth in my head, which is just as valuable.
Uncle Rico, Al Bundy, we all have our myths.
Yeah. It changed the trajectory of my life, and because it was like, what is possible? I say this. I realized I could bend the spoon. Mm-hmm. I could will it, and that's, I think, the key to what sports is: the beauty, the myth, the spirit. You can do it. You can, no matter what you are, who you are. You have to will it into existence. And if it doesn't happen, well, at least you lived in that space and you tried. You tried to slay the windmills, And I don't know. It's really a big deal to me, and I carry that with me. And I'm not the Rabbit fan who goes crazy, and it's the end all be all. But there's a spirit to it that I just believe in.
It's one of the last frontiers of like a pure American dream or just human dream being able to play out. We had Gage Larvadain sitting here as an undrafted free agent who's done very well, and he has an opportunity now to make it into the NFL. And he said, I hope that anybody who sees me knows that if I end up doing it and I can do it, you can do it. And there is something that it's one of the last few real meritocracies, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the end all be all.
Yeah.
Right. The proof is in the pudding of whatever it is.
Yeah.
6th round draft choice, Tom Brady.
Yeah. And there's also I think that it's so cool to hear you say it that way, because that's something I try to get across to my boys and a lot of kids who listen and stuff is there's this place where you have a bunch of people from a bunch of socioeconomic situations that are different, racial situations that are different, all of it. And you got to all row in the same direction, man. And some people think sometimes it's corny, but it's not. It is real to get everybody rowing in the same direction.
Right. And then what you just introduced is the beauty of the coaches, the right coach, the right attitude. And now it has to be tailor-made. I mean, now they've refined the art of coaching to it's not one size fits all, my way or the highway. And that's a style that can be utilized. I'm no expert, but I see that it's as if the coaches download who they're speaking to, where they came from, what that person can take in.
Yep.
You have to play to their specificities. I just find it really, all of it, fascinating engagement in the human experience.
That is well said, and it is, and then it plays out in front of
Not
the
to
world.
get too highfalutin,
but it is.
but I'm telling you, that's how I feel
binary.
about it.
But it really is right, and then the results are the nuance,
Winners, losers.
the nuance, and the minutia that goes into everything to have an output that is the most binary output there can be. It's you win or you lose.
But and in that pursuit of the binary, and you want to be on the right
good side.
the
That's
right
right,
side
yeah.
of that thing. I also believe, because I believe that part of that journey is they're trying to get the best out of you.
Yep.
Which will bring out the best in me, which will bring out the best in us. And I just think that messaging resonates into what America's going through, what we're all going through in our personal, that it's, we're trying to get the best out of each other. And this is just a built-in system where that's what you need to do in order to win.
And it's interesting that the motivational styles amongst coaches just in the league right now, there are different. There are a group of people that you'd say are like forces of culture, like a Dan Campbell or Mike Tomlin or Harbaugh, I'm sure would be in that. Both Harbaughs are probably in that. Then you have, guys who are X's and O's driven, where guys respond in because this guy's going to help me be successful and get paid, and that's how they reach people like a Kyle and Kevin and Andy Reid, McVay, and who do that, but also have some leadership because you have to have that. But it's interesting to see the different paths. But you're right. At the end of the day, it's how can I maximize, take this ball of clay here, and whatever this ball of clay can be, make it the best that it can be.
Yeah.
And that's Chad O'Shea said, here's our wide receiver coach. I don't know if you got to spend time with him.
He was very, he was,
but that's basically what he said. That's my job, is whatever clay they give me to make it the best that it can be.
Yeah. I saw him whipping the ball around.
He likes to
I go,
yeah.
You were a quarterback, weren't you? He goes, yeah. I mean, he was on the dime every time, like this guy.
It's fun that. He's like, we're going to do drills again where I get to throw the ball. I'm like,
and what a name. What a name. Yeah.
Did you? I can't. I know your time's precious. Won't keep you much longer. But I would
it's
be remiss
so precious
if
guys.
I did not.
Thanks for acknowledging that.
No,
so precious.
Oz
Yes.
hit me like a ton of bricks.
Oh man!
Did you know? Did you have any idea what you were getting into with that and the impact that it would have? Because it was. We talked off air. I don't know if it would ever get made. It's one of the greatest things that's ever been put on television. It's one of the most formidable things that's ever been put on television.
You said it.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Here's the story to that. First season, I was not on it. They introduced my character midway through the second season. So I get the offer. My mom happened to be visiting me up in New York, and I said, "Mama, I've gotten this offer for this prison drama, and I hadn't seen it, right?" I said, "So you want to?" She goes, "Oh, could I watch?"
Oh man!
After the first episode, I look over to my mother. She's like she's clutching the sofa, and I thought I was going to have to pull out the crash card and hit her with it. I mean, she was stunned, and so I didn't tell her that I had to agree to a clause that said, you must be comfortable with sexual activity between same-sex people, and you can't shy away from nudity. Which I signed that eagerly. But anyway, I was very proud of pretty much all aspects of that show. I really thought it's what HBO would crow about it. I thought it was groundbreaking, and I was very proud to be a part of it.
Yeah,
Tom
stunning.
Fontana was the creator. He was a great guy.
He's
a great guy.
Yeah.
You think about that era of Oz, The Wire, Sopranos. I mean, like that is as good and as gritty and as raw and as eye-opening and as I think TV could be really at that time. Yeah. And probably we're not at that era anymore. You know what I mean? I think it's probably for that moment, we were lucky to have that moment in time because it.
Yeah. It's a ways.
There's certain
I know,
scenes
and
that pop
I
into
keep
my
looking
mind,
over, and I'm like,
all right.
Is it going to shank me?
Easy. It is. It was such a treat. Thank you so much
thanks for having
some
me.
of your
Appreciate
time. So great. You've been a fixture for a quarter century on American television, and it's look forward to the project. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks very
here
much,
in the
guys.
studio.
Hey, good luck to you and the Browns.
Thank you so much.
All right.
You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. 1-800-ELK, Ohio for a free case review. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Now we head from the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here is rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
I feel just get
You're done.
after having to kind of sit around a little bit and not be able to do everything you previously.
Yeah, it felt fun. Felt fun to get out there, be with the team. Going into the final week, I don't know. It's weird. Like, consider training camp still. But all right, well, I'm just say preseason, because on the film breakdown, I don't say training camp, say preseason. All right, so final week of preseason. It's a lot, because I know it's a lot of relationships with a lot of guys in the building and a lot of guys in the locker room that we all may never play on the same team again, and that's just the truth behind it. So I did everything in my power, to get out there and be ready for this week, one last time with this group.
How is that oblique injury going?
It's feeling good. Yeah, everything's good. In life, it's always going to be pain. It's always going to be things, adversity, things that's going to knock you down sometimes. But the main thing about it is you just got to push through it. There's a lot of people in this world that's going through stuff, but, I'm playing for a lot more than just me, So regardless of pain, that's always how I've been, even in college, So in high school and everything from when I was young. Regardless of, physically, if I don't feel my best, I still got to go out there and execute with no excuses.
How do you hope to build on what you did against the Panthers in this outing on Saturday?
I say it's honestly just going out there playing ball. I don't really think too deep of it. I think about one completion at the time, one right play call at the time, one the right way to do the footwork when we're handing the ball off, doing everything. So every day is just constant grading yourself and trying to have progression. Progress.
Yeah. Obviously, Joe was named the starter for week 1
Yeah.
Earlier in the week.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin said that as it pertains to the rest of the depth chart, all these roles are not given out their earn. What is your kind of mentality, what's your mindset as you end the season knowing that, hey, you're going to be a backup, but, you still have to be prepared?
Yeah, I would say I'm thankful that Huntley here. I would say because he gave me a perspective of quarterback that I feel like I needed, I feel like him being here overall, dang, he clapping already. He noticed some good stuff, but the fact that Huntley here, he able to, I feel like God sent him here for a reason, honestly, just to talk and, to be like a guy, be like a mentor, towards me, and his career also, but being in that backup role, he faced that also, in his career, and he just gave me the mentality on what I need to do and how I need to stay on top of everything, just helping me out throughout everything.
What were some of the perspectives that he gave you?
It's even some things I forgot. I've been starting so long, ever since COVID year. I haven't really not started since COVID year. And I ran scout team there, and then sometimes you got to find the joy and the fun in it, because it is fun. You going out there against the first defense, and you out there with a chip. You playing with guys, you playing with receivers that's trying to get out there also. So I feel like all that stuff is fun, and you just got to make the best of any situation you're in.
Shedeur, what's the process or strategy to take some of the things that you've liked from that first preseason game into the reps that you get in this last one, and some of the things you learned too?
I would say I'm just going on there on my ability and God ability. I don't think anything too deep on what I did last preseason. It's a 24-hour rule, or I say 12-hour rule now. So I just go 12 hours. I feel happy. Then it's go back to work, so that's mainly my focus.
You talked about it not feeling like training camp so much anymore as you kind of reflect on.
Well, not feeling like, it's just, here it's just the language be different. So I don't know what phase we're in. I just know we practice every day.
But as you kind of reflect on your first training camp, obviously your first preseason game experience, I know you got another game coming up, but what is the biggest things that you've learned, biggest things that you've maybe gotten better, you feel like, throughout this portion of the preseason?
I would say I learned life in a different perspective, you know, and that's why I come here. I'm happy. I always got good energy because, you know, I'm blessed to come out here every day. Regardless of the situation, regardless of anything, you know, I know my time, whenever that is, I'll be ready for it, and I'm going to embrace that. But in due time, you know, I got many things I need to fix, many things I need to work on, and I'm not oblivious to that. So all I look at it as I'm getting more time to cook. I'm getting more time to warm up. You know, that's all it is.
You said you feel like you're playing for more than you. What are you playing for?
It's a lot. You know, when we get on the field, it's a lot of happiness going throughout there. You know, you just feel free. And we always just talk and have this conversation, but I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of things I'm playing for. Specifically, I have to write it down. Specifically, I have to write it down, but it's a lot of things, and it's none above the other, so I never want to say which one first, but it's a lot of things I'm playing for.
Hey, Shedeur, after that, in that preseason game last week, Dylan was interviewed, and he talked about the difference between entertainers and competitors. He called himself a competitor. Some people have construed that as a shot at you. How did you take that?
Honestly, I don't even think about nothing. I don't think about anything. If it's not words or anything, you know, at this point, it can't do anything to me. You know, I know, you know, the God put the ability and the power within me to not even think about nobody else's comments, not care. It is what it is. I spoke with him. He said, nah, bro, that wasn't. He said, that wasn't. He told me on the plane. He came up. He was like, nah, bro, that wasn't at you. I see how they trying to spin. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not tripping. Regardless of whatever it was, nobody's words or anything affects me, you know. So, yeah.
So did you believe him when he told you it wasn't on you?
Did I believe him?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're trying to start stuff now. I feel like you're trying to start stuff. I mean, he's doing his job. He's supposed to. Do I feel like he did? I don't know. And that's not on me to sit here and be like, oh, he did, he didn't. That's not going to change my life in any way.
What's it been like to work with him this camp, this preseason?
It's great competition. Every day you go out there, get a completion, and just how it is for everybody else in the room.
Shedeur, to go back to your comment about you're looking at it like you have more time to cook, I guess, what
Yeah.
do you think is important for you? And like you said, I mean, you haven't not been a starter in so long. Like, how are you just embracing this challenge?
Because it's like I feel like I've been through this already before. You know, it was a COVID year. Jackson State, I wasn't eligible to play because I graduated early. Then my purpose was going there and just do everything I can on scout team each and every day. So that's my reflection. That's how I'm able to get through any situation, anything that life, you know, throws at me or whatever I'm going through, is because I feel like I've done it, you know, in a similar form. And then I think about, you know, and I like when it's positive things going. I don't like to be negative, you know, too much of everything, because I know everybody works hard. A lot of people work hard. Life is hard. Everything. So who am I to complain when you sit back and you think of everything in the grand scheme of things? You know, so I don't even really try to even get down. And whenever, you know, I even feel a little bit down, I just constantly remind myself, like, you know, you can't be feeling that way.
Or you have such a, you know, that positive mindset, right?
Yeah.
So do you, though, also feel like you have things to prove?
Do I feel like I have things to prove? Of course, I'm playing for fun. I'm playing for happiness. You know, I'm playing for fans, the family, for everybody, for this organization that drafted me. So it's a lot I'm playing for. That's it.
Let's say two more. There's a lot that you're playing for. Is the number 2 role still something that Kevin has had as an attainable goal for you?
Say it again?
Is the number 2 role still up for grabs? You guys still competing for that number 2 role?
Number 2 role?
Like number 2 starting quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, bro, I really don't look into that. I don't care. Whenever it's time for me to get out there and play, I'm going to play. Whenever it's time for the lights to come on, I'm going to do my thing. I'm not concerned about when it is. I'm not concerned about, you know, how many reps I'm getting at this point. Is what it is. Because I know when the lights come on, when everything go on, when the pressure's on, you know who I am. And I'm always be that way.
You've been talking a lot about, in pre-draft, you're talking about the biggest weapon for a quarterback is their mind. Mm-hmm. I think people will talk about Joe and say, man, how's he still doing this at 40 physically? But what kind of weapon is it? Can his mind be for this team, the way he processes all his experience, all that?
I think the mind is extremely powerful. I think everything's a decision. I think you could wake up each and every day and decide if you're going to have a positive day or you're going to have a negative day. I think you could wake up every day and regardless of any circumstance you're in, I feel like you could choose how your day is going to be. Choose your mentality. Choose how you feel about certain people. Choose if you feel like getting up and doing it every day. You have a choice. So I feel like that mental's extremely strong and it's the most important thing. That's why, people wear caps and stuff when we out there playing football to protect the mind and everything. So, of course, I'm never going to wear a cap, though. But anyways, I just think the mind's extremely important, and it's just about perspective, however you look at life.
Shedeur, in that last game, and then every day that we've watched you out here in practice, your elite accuracy has been on display. Do you feel like that's kind of been your superpower in this competition? And are you proud of the way that you brought that here? We've seen it obviously in college, but you brought that here to this level, and it's held up against great competition.
Yeah, I think my abilities are my abilities. When God decided to take it away from me, that's the decision. But I think versus anybody, I always pick me. So at this point, it's about in due time. Whenever it's my time.
It'll be your first time playing in Huntington Banfield.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Browns fans traveled in that first game, but what are you looking forward to most playing in front of the home crowd, in front of the dog pound?
I'm very excited. I want to do, and I didn't even say this, but I wanted to find a way to get a lot of the high schools free tickets, a lot of the kids, middle schools, everybody free tickets to come to the game. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know anything. I didn't talk to anybody about this. But, I just always had, instant thoughts. And I'm like, dang, that'd be cool if we could do it. But I didn't talk to anybody about that yet. So I hope I don't. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. I'm excited for everything, everybody. I know a lot of us will be playing in the game, so I'm just excited to be out there and get out there. I'm excited for the new DT96 cleats that will be out there that day.
That's awesome. I love that part. I'm going to try to get tickets for high school kids and middle school kids. I haven't talked to anybody yet, but we're going to get it done. Don't put it – he'll get it done.
There's seats available.
He'll get it done.
He'll get it done.
So it's going to be 81 degrees.
Yeah.
Sunshiny. Beautiful.
Yeah, he's going to get it done.
Go down and watch.
Dude, it's 1 o'clock. You're going to get to see Flacco to start. You're going to get starters for 20 minutes or 20 plays, 20, 25 plays. Then you're going to get Dylan and Shedeur. I mean, it's pretty great.
I'm telling you. And by the way, last week in Philly, a game was under 3 hours.
Yeah, they fly.
You got your whole day ahead of you.
What do we got weather Saturday here?
Sunny and 81.
Oh, there you go.
It's not any better.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. All right, good stuff there with Shedeur. His attitude is infectious. It really is. We'll open up the mailbag coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. This month's winner of the local business platform presented by Minuteman is Ridge Barbershop. Visit ridgebarbershop.com to book your next haircut. It is a Mailbag Thursday. We'll get to your question at Browns_Daily and on the YouTube stream. Hello, Gibbe.
Hi, gentlemen. Is there anything else we haven't gotten to?
There's a lot. There's a lot going on. That was jam-packed, brother. That was jam-packed. You watched Oz, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
These guys were like, it's the one I didn't know. I go, well, when you leave the building and are off of the company Wi-Fi, go ahead and take a peek at that.
I mean, I don't know my timing right, but like I don't know
It's
if
like
there's
late
been,
90s, early 2000s is when it was on.
So Oz was on
I think
from
slightly
97
before.
to 2003.
I think it's slightly before Sopranos was right around there, like 97, 98.
Okay.
And then The Wire was right
02 to 08.
02, 08, Wire. So
Yep.
Wire, I think Wire replaced Oz on that Sunday night, and then The Sopranos was the one that was, if memory serves. That Sopranos.
I don't.
And the Sopranos started 99. So like you had all three of them.
Yeah.
At
'cause
one
when
point
did-
in 2002, then all three would be on the air.
They were
right?
all going. I think The Wire might have been on Mondays at that time, and those two were on Sundays.
And if I'm correct, 2002 was also Band of Brothers.
Yeah, all that was happening.
Yeah, so you had, I mean, to have Oz, The Wire, and Sopranos on the same time that's a different level of television.
No.
Like, there have been some good things. Arcos
Well, they
is very
followed
good. Ozark very good.
Yeah,
but not like.
But that's the streaming stuff, like
Yeah.
the HBO. I mean, Thrones. Like you have had some stuff that's been
Yeah,
huge. But they even followed that up with like Deadwood and Rome, which are both incredible. I mean, like all that stuff was going at the same time. Oz is easily the most riveting, uncomfortable thing I've ever seen, and that's 25 years ago plus. 28 years ago when it aired?
There was a little
initially.
stretch in Outlander that got to that level of
level.
uncomfortability.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Miss Cam, like, this, the only time I've ever felt like just watching a show before was Oz.
Yeah. But he was such a force. That was so cool having him in studio, and the intensity was there.
It was.
I love the high school football stuff
he was
with him
very
too.
intense.
Yeah, and I love the high school football stuff with how that is a catapult, for the rest of his life. I thought it was really cool.
You can tweet your questions to us at Browns_Daily. And J-Mac, if anything pops up on the YouTube stream, youtube.com/Browns, we're happy to take your questions from there as well. A little extended version today. H. Schneider, terrible that Buki got hurt. The SEC Defensive Player of the Year definitely had a bright future. However, Easton Mascarenas-Arnold looked great last week. Any thoughts on him making the practice squad and how the coaches view him, Dr. Z?
Well, I mean, at this point, he's got a shot because he might be – he's healthy, and he's been here the whole time. So if you look at your linebacker room right now, Carson, Devin, Jerome Baker, Mahmoud Diabate are locks. Buki Watson's now on IR. So the only other two linebackers that are here are Winston Reed, who they love, and Easton Mascarenas-Arnold. So if you were going to keep six – he's in. I'm not sure yet where things are going to stand with Diabate and Reed, who are banged up until we see them again. So, I mean, right now, he's your fourth healthy linebacker. So I do think he has a chance. He's on my. He's moved up to yellow on my. He was definitely going to stay here, but now it's a question of does he have to be carried on that initial 53 or not? And now the NFL's wisely adjusted the rule that somebody can be on IR before the 53 and still you have two people who can be on that IR before the 53 and still come back. Remember, you'd have to put him on the 53,
correct.
cut a veteran who you're like, hey, I'm going to bring you back, wink, wink, nod, nod. So you won't hopefully have to do that.
Dog Pound Cleveland Brown. I went to House of Creole last time I came to Cleveland. Thought it was great. Where should I go next time I come? What are your favorite downtown restaurants?
I mean, I'm suburbia, man. I mean, I got kids that are of an age, so it's so rare that we get downtown. Obviously, Marble Room's great for the ambiance, and Town Hall's great.
Fahrenheit's
Fahrenheit's
a great
awesome.
Fahrenheit, Town Hall.
Those are all the kind of the standards, but I don't get down there much.
Lago's great.
Yep.
What's the one that they just opened up? The Italian place. Cordelia's good.
Is it Luca?
No, they opened it where Osteria used to be. Aqua de Luna is good. There's a lot. It's
a good food city.
It's a solid food city.
Lots
yeah.
to choose from.
Aqua, hold on. Now it's Aqua de Dea. Let me zoom out here, and I can tell you the next one that opened up right next to it. I'm pretty sure there's a Oliva. It's supposed to be good. Yeah, that's it. Oliva. That was in. It's kind of where you go walk down and into it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of good. There's lots of good eating down here.
And all of most of the suburbs have great stuff. University Circle area has great stuff. There's a lot. Little Italy, lots to choose from.
Absolutely. Zane asks, where are we partying in Vegas? Well, Zane, we're coming in the day before. It's not a full weekend getaway, buddy.
You're not getting a weekend there?
No.
When you guys can't do casinos either.
Correct.
So that makes it a little tricky. That's F1 weekend there. So just be warned if you are going. Get booked. Get the hotels. Might even, get on it quickly. I know we have a True Fan Travel thing that we're doing with them, but, man, that is going to be a jammed weekend in Vegas.
I mean,
jammed.
that might be your best bet.
Yeah, that might be.
True Fan.
It might be
because it's all planned out and taken care of and good to go.
Because the F1 race there is Saturday night, where they do it, shut down the strip.
And there's races 3 days prior.
Yeah, they do all the qualifying stuff leading up to it.
Yeah, and there's other forms because I think Clay's a big F1 guy, and I think he got credentialed. He's going early.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a wild. That's a weekend where you're not even gonna. You can't go the strip.
Yeah.
From where we are, there's no way.
Oh no, not
impossible.
I don't know where you guys
it might
are, but
be
I would assume
$300 Uber.
We're way north. We're up at Red Rock. I think we're at the same place we were.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
North.
Yeah, we are not close.
Is that Hendersonville?
Henderson, isn't it? Just Henderson?
Henderson or Henderson?
Yeah. I think it's just Henderson.
Oh yeah, Hendersonville is where Jeff Jarrett lives.
There you go.
There you go. Flem Daddy, thoughts on Madden 26 thus far?
Haven't played it. Haven't played 1 second of it.
No, not 1 second of it.
I got a high school senior, sophomore. I got a newborn. I got the Browns. I've been traveling.
See you in 18 years. I'll ask you how Madden is.
See you in 18 years. No, you're going to be playing with little Z before you know it. You guys
that'll be fun again.
On the sticks.
That's one of the great things with when El Boods got into video. I was like, I'm parenting now.
How fun.
This is good.
This is awesome. Yeah. I think it took a massive hit. I think it's been taken. I've heard that it's better this year, but my kids haven't asked for it, so we haven't played it. We've played a lot of the college football game. I think the college football game is a slight dip from last year. It's way too many interceptions. It almost has become like a Madden thing where it's either a touchdown or an interception.
Yeah, you don't like that.
And I can't stand that. Like sometimes the ball can be
errant. It can be incomplete.
We can drop it. You can break it up. Like everything doesn't have to be a pick or a touchdown.
Our good friend Jared Luganbill. How many plays would you guess Isaiah Bond will get on Saturday?
Coach talked about that and didn't see any reason why he wouldn't be playing. Said he's a quick study. Who knows? I mean, that would be a total guess at this point. What he could do.
Yeah, I think you want to get.
Listen, I think you want to get him ready to play 20 plays against the Bengals.
Yeah,
and I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
No, you get 3 weeks. You get a lot of time.
Yeah, and if Isaiah Bond can make good on his natural gifts, he has a chance to be playing a lot more than that pretty quickly.
It seems like he's doing all the right things. So, yeah.
Bobby time, rapid fire.
Bobby!
What is the strangest thing a guest has done in your house? I don't know if we want to answer that or not.
You
want to go
no,
down
you don't want to go to that.
That's all I can say. Yeah, no, can't tell that story.
Can't tell that story. Can't do that.
Nope. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Michelangelo.
Same. And I was going to say
Leonardo.
Michelangelo. Yeah.
Michelangelo.
Yeah. I like the nunchucks. He seemed like he had a good time.
Yeah.
I think we already know the
They
answer.
show up in Fortnite. Does Bootsy have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles skin?
He hasn't been playing that much. He's been mostly college football.
College football.
Right now, yeah.
You have the choice of inviting anyone you want for lunch. Who would you invite?
Larry David.
Yeah, LD would be tough to beat.
If you couldn't invite Larry David, who would you invite? That's what he should have asked.
I mean, there's a lot.
I mean, the playmaker over a lunch.
Well, the playmaker is the playmaker. By the way, just put him in every documentary. I don't even care if he knows anything about it.
Yeah, just let him talk.
I don't care. Like you do a documentary,
you'd have an opinion on it.
Absolutely. Like if you're doing a documentary on the fall of the tech stocks in the late 1990s. Michael Irvin. Doesn't matter. I don't care what the subject is. He is riveting.
Must see.
I watched 4 hours of that thing last night. 4 hours. I watched 4 episodes.
So you're through 6?
I'm through 6.
How good was 3?
Oh my God!
Did they besmirch Steve Young enough for my liking?
No.
What do you mean? They said they knew they were going to pull away in the fourth quarter. They knew Steve Young's not a closer. He's not Joe Montana.
No, they actually said the opposite. That the 49ers had a bunch of comebacks that year with Young, and they didn't want to give him the chance to do it. The one thing I thought that they kind of glossed over was, now they have a whole episode that's called Prime Time, but I thought they glossed over a little bit how much of a super team that 94 Niners was and how dominant they were.
Yeah.
Because there was, going into that game, there was no scenario where the Cowboys were winning. That was my feeling of it based on what the San Francisco 49ers had been that year. They were just hitting on every single cylinder. Young is very candid with Joe sitting there and how awkward all of it was for him and losing those 2 games. Like he's very candid about all of it. It's so good. And I think a lot of credit to Jerry. At one point he's like, let me do that again, and they kept it in because he's trying to explain like the Jimmy stuff. That basically, we're up against a little bit. Basically, that happened over because do you know this? You know how this happened?
No.
So
that's why I said I'm excited to see.
I won't spoil it for you, but just the petty thing that happened that led to that divorce is insane in retrospect. Completely insane. And I did not realize. So in '95, when Switzer's there and they're doing pregame, Jimmy Johnson's back on pregame for Fox in Texas Stadium doing the pregame. And he's got like an entourage with him, and he walks over to Jerry before the game. I didn't know any of that.
By the way, how wild is it that Terry Bradshaw's been doing that for so long? He's in the earliest clips they show on everything on that show.
Well, and he actually came over from CBS. He was doing it at CBS before, then went to Fox. I give Jerry a lot of. I find him incredibly endearing, and I just find like his go-get-it stuff was all inspiring, and I just think it's really cool that he showed the warts because he doesn't look the best. There's a line his wife gives him after the Jimmy Johnson thing where his wife says something to him, and like you can see him like as he's retelling the story, his eyes are full of tears. Like that
some regret.
Yeah, it's all the warts. It's very, very good. Very, very good. So much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Hi, kids. Stefanski shows tonight, 7 to 8. Z and Gerard on that. Coach and Aiden Huntington will join the program for that. You have that to look forward to. That was a show.
That was a show. The Stefanski show is going to be a show. Aiden Huntington, you're going to enjoy listening to that. Like
30.
This is somebody I think you need to get to know, and you'll get to know him.
There you go. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We are back tomorrow. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.